comment, do something. Do something. Happy Thursday, everybody that's tuning in. Welcome back to another week of Bussin' It Up. I'm not going to be the host. We have a beautiful host that is going to host tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, right there. But listen, we just wanted to welcome you to Bussin' It Up. Bussin' It Up, as you may not know, is just a space for us to just bust up our week with just unique and interesting engagement. Some weeks we're just having candid conversations. Some weeks it's going to kind of have a ministry component. Some weeks it's going to be us just laughing and joking and just literally just busting it up. And so we want you to just tune in on Thursdays just to kind of be a part of the community that we are creating. If you have topics, if you have just ideas for us, and even want to be a part of it, man, certainly like hit our inbox. Certainly hit the DM. Yeah,
that's where it goes down.
And just be a part of like what it is that we have going on here. But yeah, man, I'm going to kick it over to our host for the evening. Hey, did you hear that drum roll?
Y'all are so silly. This is gonna be a good night. I can already feel it.
Mic check.
Mic check. I can hear you. Well, hi everybody out there. I'm Tasia, also known as Tasia Sims on my social medias. So tonight we're gonna talk about DMs, what goes down in the DM. You know, we didn't play that song, but that would have been lit.
Hey.
So the point of it is just basically talking about like, has it changed? Like, what's the wildest thing or funniest thing that you remember? And then maybe even sharing some experiences with like DM conversations, you know?
Yeah. So like even you all, like we want you to engage, we want you to share, we want you to like and even share some of your stories. We're going to be able to kind of see them just up here. And so if you make some comments, we might kind of share those comments. And if you kind of just share something that that intrigues us, we might kind of jump onto that kind of conversation as well. So let's get it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, like where should we start? Because this is like a broad topic.
What?
Yes, please.
Who are you?
I'm only here because my initials are DM. I'm with the population, was new with the nation. Hey, come holla. I am only here because I am an OG in the DM game. Yes. MySpace, baby.
Oh.
OG. I met my wife out of some DM.
Oh.
Throw back MySpace.
MySpace.
Yo, it ain't official if I'm not number one in your top.
MySpace.
Look.
Yeah, and you know how like when you were mad with somebody, like you moved them out of like your top, like you top.
Why
8,
you take me out?
But you know who was always there? You know who was always there in your top 8? Tom was always there.
I'll be your friend.
Tom was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be here regardless. Like this is
only conversation for 30 You only know
right.
If you know who Tom is.
Yeah.
He's like Diddy or Jermaine Dupri. Like he's on the track regardless. You can't get rid of him.
Diddy gonna do.
Like, you want a CEO that's not dancing in the videos, rapping on the record.
Yeah, Diddy gonna do. Look, Diddy gonna do something. He gonna come across the screen like that, even if that's all he doing. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so let's talk about the DM.
Let's talk about it.
So let me ask this: what prompted this discussion? Like, I'm curious to know, like, what prompted, like.
Okay, so I am single and I am venturing out into like I haven't really ventured out, that much recently, but I have dabbled into like dating apps and stuff like that. You're right. So Facebook got a dating app. Did y'all know that? Facebook got a dating app. It's interesting. So I just was like, all right, fine, I'm bored. Whatever. I'll check it out. And I mean, I got a message, started a conversation, got a message and a couple of messages, and then I got a weird message. And that's what prompted.
Every message prior to that was okay.
Well, I mean, like it was just kind of conversation. So it's just kind of like the, hey, how are you? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Just the, or just original stuff. And then regular, just like kind of like checking you out, feeling the vibe. And then I got a weird message. Actually, I will share the message, and I don't know if we could throw it up on the screen. But it was very strange, and I decided to screenshot it. Yes, I'm screenshotting DM messages and conversations. Ain't nobody safe. I'm screenshotting, especially if they're weird. So I got a message that said, "You're so fine. I can only imagine controlling men dating you. Laugh out loud. Sorry to say that does sound awful." And I just sent the panic emoji, like little face. That's all I sent.
Imagine controlling men dating you. You think what came to mind when you read this?
I mean, the little shock face. I was like, what? Where? What? And then I screen grabbed it and I shared it on my social media, and I asked for feedback, mostly from my male friends.
Okay.
Because I was just wondering, like, is this normal? Is this how like conversation? Do y'all find this okay? I did get some feedback. Danny did give me some feedback. He's like, nah, you want to tell him what you said?
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I do remember it being like, nah, that's not okay. Because the question was, is this what y'all do? Is this okay? And I was just like, nah, most of us ain't doing that. I've been married for 9 years, and I hope that y'all not doing that. I would assume better.
But it's happening.
So let me ask you, did you like go look at the person's like page and kind of like
that's what I'd be doing.
Like what?
No, on this app you can't see their profile unless they like offer a
like
little
like
a link, a friend or whatever. You can't see their Facebook page. I did go and check out like his actual, profile dating page. Turns out that I actually know him from my past, not my past. He knows my brother. And I don't know. It was just very interesting because I feel like once I told him, like, I was like, wow, that's an interesting joke. Because I think he said it was a
right.
It's an
interesting.
That's an interesting joke. Like, that's an interesting way to joke. And he was like, oh, yeah, I guess that was a little awful. I'm like, why would you say that? Yeah. He didn't really have an answer.
So was he trying to get your attention? Was he like, you know what I mean? Because you know how someone tries to flirt and they don't know how to flirt? And so like you say like the most random and or awkward thing. And so like, do you think like that's what it was?
Just trying to break the ice, you mean?
Yeah, like,
and
he like really like fell in. Like he tried to break the ice, but fell in.
That's a weird icebreaker.
Well, this individual is a father, so it's not like their first time, speaking to women. You
got babies,
dating.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Is that judgmental?
I was just saying.
Just because
you got a baby,
just because you got you have a child, doesn't mean that you are equipped.
True.
Doesn't mean that you are equipped. So yeah, that's interesting. Like that comment in and of itself is just interesting.
I guess for me, I wanted to know like why. I wanted to know the point of view from other men to see like what is wrong with this message. Should I be concerned Is it toxic? And should I stop talking to this person?
Yes, all those things.
All of the above.
All of the above.
I feel like
yes, it's toxic. No, it's not normal. It's not something that this is not something that as a father of a daughter that I would even, like if my daughter came to me and was like, this is how we met, I'd be like, hold up, bro. Like,
yo,
like yeah. I'd go full Mike Lowry, like
So
Bad Boys
what
2.
was it? Like, I mean, the phrase again was, I can only see controlling men dating you. And, you know, I also did get feedback from my best friend who is
So,
also one.
I'm
What was
still-
that a response to?
Yeah, like I'm still trying to unpack that. Like,
Yeah, like-
why?
That's
That
what I
is
think a
good
lot
question.
is said in context. So like,
That's a good question.
So the context of like a controlling man, like why? Knowing you, I guess he probably watched you a little bit, and so why would he associate a controlling man being the one that kind of?
I don't know the mind of this young man. I don't even know that he knows me. When on Facebook dating app, you can do like the matchup with any dating app. And I told him I remembered him because he sent me like a message first. I was like, I remember you. We start talking about like my brother and like, you know, old neighborhoods and stuff like that. And it was regular conversation because that's what I prefer. I don't want like the, hey, what's up? You know, where, you know,
cat
all
calling
that.
in the DM. Yeah.
Cat calling, like that, you're so fine, whatever. So we started talking about like activities for the weekend, and I was sharing that I was checking out like a new art exhibit. He was like, this is the first, to give context, this is the first message before this weird message. He was like, oh, what activities were you doing? Because I can't imagine you being allowed out. I thought your boyfriend would have you on house arrest.
Yeah, so he so
What?
basically he's trying to ask questions without like so he's trying to ask questions.
So you come to this bar often?
Yeah, like on
Your husband let you out of the house?
on a weirdo type.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
really
weird.
weird. Like, you
That's
know,
weird, right?
yeah, that's extremely weird. Because that's just like if I'm trying to figure out like if you have a girl or not. I mean, or if you have a guy or not. It's just like, oh, so your guy let you out, or you know what I mean? Like, oh,
Wow.
like I wouldn't have let, you know what I mean? Like I
That's
wouldn't
one
have
of,
let my
yeah, it's one of those.
So
Your,
it was one of
your
those
boyfriend's
sneak,
okay with you
like,
coming around here?
Are
Yeah.
you really single
and,
type of
and
thing?
your response would be like, I don't even have it, man. Like, why are you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like those like thought provoking leading questions that it seemed like he was trying to do, like very awkward, like not knowing how. However, let me flip though.
Okay.
I think what it sounds like is that he's trying to avoid rejection in a sense.
Okay.
And so what you do is you kind of ask those leading questions so that you don't, in a sense, feel like I'm about to get played. So let me kind of basically feel out like the land.
Yeah.
You know,
Keep
what I
it from
mean?
being vulnerable by it. Yeah.
Yeah,
got
you know what I mean? Because like if I get my hopes up and you be like, oh, I got a man, like, and then it's easy for me, like, I didn't even like you anyway.
Yeah.
You was ugly anyway.
That's weird. That's weird.
Isn't that so awful?
That's super weird. Just
Like,
be like,
First
forget
of
you then.
all, they ask, they catcall, and then they insult you right after, you know, the rejection.
Before I got saved, I was one of those guys, by the way. So.
Oh,
I'm
the
just kidding,
grace.
So those of you that are watching, like, what's good with like rejection for you? Like, is it easy for you to jump into somebody's DM, or do you feel like or fear rejection, both by the DM or even in general, like in a general sense? Like if you see someone that you feel is attractive, like do you feel like no, like I don't even want to kind of deal with the context of rejection?
So David in the comments said, "What happened to old fashioned dating, meeting girls in the clubs, bars, or church?"
That ain't happening right now,
was
but
saying,
I think that's cool. A lot of people are more introverted now, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you ain't making the first move, y'all just staring at each other, and it's real weird. Ain't nobody doing that.
So
just everybody went back to 6th grade, and it's just mad wallflowers. Is everybody hanging up against the wall? Yeah, that's weird. I'm so glad I'm married in 2021, fam. Like, I'm so glad that I don't got to worry about none of that.
So I think, I mean, that's a valid question. So for me, like, so have I ever done the DM? Yes. Like I've done the DM.
What's your strategy, Nate?
I don't have a strategy. I don't.
That's the definition of I just shoot my shot.
Yeah, like.
But you gotta have form, though, right?
So
but I feel like form comes just from being a stand-up individual. Like as a person, like the way that you behave on social media is usually like a wild interpretation of who you are as an individual. So like it's like you turned up to 11, basically.
So let me be clear. Like I'm not one of those people that shoot shots.
Okay,
just be out there, like,
I don't just be out
Nate
here.
Don't shoot
like,
shots.
I'm not Kobe at practice.
He don't.
You know
so
I mean?
if he does, you special.
I mean, the Lord must have let me to you. And then,
you about to have all the special people in the comments.
No, relax. That was back then. That was back then.
The Lord
like they said I was special.
Renewed him. He is a new creature.
A new
creation.
No, so but even like that whole context of like I personally I would prefer like the old fashioned like in face like because at the end of the day it's just like I don't know who you are behind the screen, right? And so oftentimes like you can easily become attracted to who this person is posting to be, right? And that individual, and even for myself, I'll be honest, there's particular things that I post about and there's particular things that I don't post about, right? And so many people may look at what I post and be like, yo, like he's dope, he's amazing, he's da-da-da-da-da-da. And I have some beautiful and I am dope, in some senses, but I also have some flaws as well.
Right.
And so when you really kind of get to know me, like you begin to recognize like the flaws, as well. And so most people don't see that on a social media context, right? And so it's like, how do you engage that way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you engage that way? Hey, can I get your number? Like, number one, physically think that you're attractive. Right. And because I physically think that you're attractive, can we kind of start engaging?
I'm wondering if like the DMs and like social media has given a lot of people courage that they don't have in person.
Oh yeah.
Is that it?
What?
Instead of like liquid courage.
It used to be liquid courage. Right. And now you just need keyboard courage.
It's internet courage.
Yeah, you need keyboard courage. That's it. That's all it is.
So it's kind of like again going back to the word rejection, right? Like how do you hide that rejection? Right? Because it's just like now it's like shooting that shot, and if you shoot that shot and it misfire, just like you did today, they screenshotting and they telling like, yo, this person was in my DM, sending it to their girl group chat. And you out here smiling and not even knowing that you like.
And y'all be careful because y'all sending DMs to girls in the same friend group. Y'all just out here shooting the same shot over and over with Tisha and all her homegirls, and now everybody got the same message.
I ain't saying not a thing.
It's real. It's true. I know it because I hear all my wife's friends talk about it. From the comfort of my recliner.
This is how we get feedback. We try to stay safe out here.
Right.
Dennis Rodman.
Yo, some dudes be shooting like Shaq at the free throw.
God.
Some dudes is less than 50% out here.
Look, my percentage right now
is not good. See, and that's the thing too, because he said something like really potent about the fact that like who you are on social media and what you portray on social media becomes your identity, right? So like I've been really conscious about like I have tried to post as little as possible unless it's something that is really authentically me, right? So like everything I post is just my life, my kids, whatever. With Nate, as Nate's friend, I see Nate and I go, Anybody else looking at Nate's social media probably thinks him and I are just live at the center and just hang out here all day long, right? And I know you think that. I know people think that way because they be like, "Wait, you're not up at the center today?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm grocery shopping."
People will literally
Got a
call me
life.
like,
You don't
"Yo."
grocery shop out of the center? What
People
you
are
mean?
like, "I'm getting a sandwich. Why aren't you here?"
Right.
I'm at my house.
Right.
I'm home.
Right. I was just like, "Oh, see, I know what that means. I know how that is." So yeah, so I
Wow.
definitely get it.
Oh my gosh.
There is a matter of like, it used to be, and this is me from back in the old DM days. It used to be that you would like scope the scene, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
you would like dig through some profile pictures and like
Okay.
see who people got friends relationships with, and you'd be like, all right, cool. So the reason that my wife caught my eye was because I
Why
was
she catch your eye? Come
Listen.
on, educate
That's my
us.
baby. No, the reason my wife caught my eye, real talk, was literally just a surface level thing. She took a picture. I was like, man, that girl's beautiful. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw there was a Puerto Rican flag in the picture behind her.
Oh,
And I was like, representation. I was
It
like, that's what I'm
matters.
talking about.
It
And,
matters.
and me having just moved to Pittsburgh, I was like, yo, there's Puerto Ricans in Pittsburgh. I'm about to get the only one.
The only one.
I'm about to get the
The
only one.
only one.
Right. And then it worked out. And now 9 years later, I am where I am. But yeah, so it's like, for me, it was like you scope the scene, you know what I mean? You do all that.
Yeah.
So it was literally what you would do. It was like an advantage to having to talk to people out in public. Because in public, you don't get any background checks. You don't get any of that
Yeah.
stuff.
No, but you
So-
do get the raw kind of like reaction, like instant reaction.
Yeah,
in
I had
person.
gotten enough raw reactions where I was like, I don't want no more raw
I
reactions.
feel that.
I want to send a message and walk away from it.
Or you can get reference checks
Oh,
nowadays
see?
because people be knowing
Yeah.
reference
They
checks.
be knowing. They be knowing.
So yeah.
I do like that you looked at the picture and you weren't just fixated on your wife's looks, but you looked at the background for.
Oh, I
for a
always
point of
do.
No, so
No,
like
I'm not
something
trying to
in
be with
common.
nobody who got their mattress on the floor. What?
Listen, no.
I appreciate that, but
So
you
listen.
had something in common too. So
Right.
So
that's cool.
listen, no. So pictures, you say when they say pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So I was kicking it with someone that's gonna remain nameless, right? Because
Okay.
they
Protect
might
the
be
innocent.
watching.
All right.
Right? They
innocent.
might be
So
watching.
and so, no name.
No,
This is for you.
no names, but they gonna know.
You being protected right now.
They gonna know as soon as I start telling this story. So yesterday,
This is recent.
This is
yesterday,
very 24 hours ago.
listen, they pull up a picture and they really broke down the picture like, oh, this person lives in this
Oh,
particular
man.
complex. This person lives in this kind of
They be
housing.
knowing.
Because of this is the kind of towel
Yeah.
that's in this kind of complex. This is like literally.
How you think all these
like,
racists get fired?
broke
That's,
it down.
that's how we find them.
And I was just like,
Investigate.
That's how we find them.
I was just like, yo, like I was sitting there like,
Private eye who?
Yeah.
I
And everybody got a homegirl that's a private eye too.
Yo, and so people really do pay attention to like backgrounds.
Yeah.
They really do pay attention
Truly.
to what they see.
They pay attention to the outfit you wear, the way your hair is laid,
Mhm.
the nails. I mean, they be calling out people like
And
your
don't
nails was
post
in
don't
this
post
color
5
that
different
day.
days with the same shirt on because they were like, yo,
Thank
you stay with
you.
that shirt on, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, oh,
yeah.
that must be your
Like,
favorite
bro, that was
outfit.
7 weeks apart, and I just happened to.
Like, so what if it is? We in a pandemic. I'm
Right.
saving water.
I'm in the house.
Hey, there's no shame in my game. I might mess
Outfit
around
repeater.
and wear the same
Yeah.
outfit a few days in a row.
That's why you see so many cats wearing hats during the pandemic.
Listen,
Barbershops was closed for a minute.
y'all can stunt out here if y'all want to,
if
but
you want to.
that
Keep
we
it
do
real.
That has been. I know
Keep it
I do
real.
that.
That's why I got this hat on right now because I didn't feel like doing my hair for y'all.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes down to it, so like, are you a fan? Like, what would be the right?
Are you a fan of
Here
the
we go.
DMs?
Like, yeah. So what would be the right approach for a man to approach you in the DM? Like, what's the right approach?
Is there even a right approach?
Is there a right approach?
I mean, I feel like I give grace. So because I want grace myself, because I don't shoot my shot. You know, I don't do that.
That was
I don't want.
gonna be my
I
next
don't
question.
want to be
Wait, you
That was
gotta
gonna be my
explain
next
this.
question. Do women shoot their shot?
What do you mean you gonna give somebody grace? So if someone like shoot their
So
shot,
we were just talking about that before we started rolling. Before we started filming.
Meaning that, like, I'm not gonna just cancel them. Like I'm not, I don't believe in cancel culture. So what I'm gonna do is lean into that investigation side and ask some questions.
So I'm gonna let you make your problematic statement, and then I'm
Right.
gonna follow up.
And now I'm gonna follow up to see what kind of character you got that might be hidden behind this, phrasing. You just might not have no game. Okay.
That was it for me. That was it for me. I have no game. I was tired of getting played in public, and like I was one of those dudes that I became like, all my friends was real talkative out in public talking to girls. I would be the one low key and be like, "Hey Nate, go talk to her for me, bro." And then they'd be like, "Well, tell your friend to come over here."
Right.
So
and I was like, "Man, forget all that. Forget all that."
Like, why you?
Like, are they looking? Are they looking?
Yeah.
Why are you so loud?
Right. Stop talking so loud. Chill.
No, but to answer your question, like I think that DMs are useful. It's good because it's a form of communication. We're very technical. We're moving in even more into that age. So I have no problem with people contacting me or reaching out in any kind of like social media platform. With dating apps, that's the way that you have to communicate anyway. So I would say the approach for me is to come at me with like something intriguing. Like tell me an activity that you really are interested in and you're just like, "Hey, have you ever heard of disc golf?" I've learned about disc golf because
I tore my rotator cuff playing disc golf.
She said you got to come at her from an education standpoint.
Yeah, and it not even like in this dripping and oozing intellect, and wisdom, because I don't like proud like people that are just like, "Oh, I know so much. I'm so deep." It's like, okay, well, communication and conversation will reveal that without you being boastful, right? So I don't want the whole just like, "What's up? Where you from? What you doing? Oh, that's cool. Okay."
It's like talking to starting to talk to someone, and every single day they text you WYD.
Yes.
Every day, like
so
that.
What do you think?
That's all you.
Doing?
That's all you got.
Like,
that's all.
Oh, pinky in the brain conversation. What we doing today?
Trying to take over the world.
Trying to take over the world. Same thing we do every day.
Like it's just like you know what I do every day.
Yeah.
What?
If it's Nate, what you doing? I'm at the center. You know what I'm doing.
You don't want to know like what kind of food or meal I have for the day, or if I'm planning on cooking. You don't even know if I ate today.
Nah. Because he ain't trying to feed you right. He ain't even talk to you yet. You already trying to get fed.
Those are some interesting conversations, because if someone asks me what did I eat, I'm gonna be like, why?
Why are you in my business?
Why? Like, why? So for me,
because that's what I would expect from you. If I was like, "Hey, what'd you eat today?" I'm like, "Why do you care?"
I feel like that's
this
random.
Is the difference between men and women, and I love that, because I'm not saying that you just pop and be like, "Yo, what you eat today?"
What you eat today?
It's more so Cookie like, "Hey, how?"
As soon as they went, instead of saying good morning,
it's like, what you eat?
What you plan on eating today?
I'm hungry. Where the
6:30? You ate yet?
Which is care, because food is love. I'm just saying.
I mean,
that's how you do it.
Okay.
You send her a picture of like a big egg strudel or something.
But listen, I'm also vegan. So if you are interested in the type
products.
of like, just daily diet that I have, that's points right there.
DM her a picture of your favorite oat milk.
Yeah. DM her. DM
her all your vegan snacks.
DM me some tacos.
See?
We can have a brilliant conversation.
How you even make tacos without meat in them?
Listen, I got you.
Veggie tacos.
Get these jackfruit tacos.
Veggie tacos.
I love to cook. Okay, so if you would like to experience a vegan dish,
I feel like we're like about to like.
If you like to get down to some vegan food, get down to her DMs.
Like,
bro.
I feel like we about to hook her up. Like,
right, this is a dating show now.
This is the dating show.
This is a dating show. We gonna find you a suiter. Stop playing.
God.
We just became your fairy godfathers.
And I said my social media handle, so I don't even want to check
Sims.
my inbox.
No.
So what are non-negotiables for you?
There you go.
Non-negotiables. So first of all, you have to be
employed.
Yeah, employed, or you have to have something important in life that you're doing, that you are, passionate about, interested in, or working towards.
Okay, people are passionate about rapping. So what's good with that?
Yo, he got a mixtape coming out.
Listen,
Mixtape coming out,
if
and
the
you gotta
mixtape is fire,
So wait, you gonna listen to it?
I will.
Everybody right now that's a rapper. Listen. She gonna listen to your mixtape.
Listen, I am a firm enthusiast of drama, performance, art, all that. You know this, Nate.
I mean,
she said Michael B. Jordan, holla.
I'm not saying I'm gonna date you, but I could definitely encourage you.
So she said, if
so you definitely get a friend zone.
Said if your CD is kind of hot, then you kind of got a chance. But if it's kind of not hot, then you kind of not have a chance.
Hot 16,
she said, if it's kind of hot, I kind of got a homegirl.
Hot 16. That's not all it takes.
Hot
but
16. Shout out to my wife in the comments.
Open conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Like, you have to have a passion. You have to be not causing no trouble. And
what's that mean? Because I cause a lot of trouble in different ways.
And I mean, like, you can cause, there's good trouble, of course, but I'm talking about like you out here just poking at people for no reason. So you're violent towards women. You're causing a ruckus in your family. You know, you're
a toxic individual.
You're toxic. You're unhealthy. You don't even know how to have a routine or take care of yourself without having somebody in your ear. Even if it's a woman that you're just sliding in their DMs so they can get you on track, but you're gonna bring a whole bunch of mess into their life.
Keep the baggage.
Right. So, what about your Christian values? Is that important, or
absolutely.
is it not important?
Because
absolutely. There's some people who's like, listen, like, I'm going after love, and you know, I feel like if I love this person, then this person could. That they can kind of fall in line, basically. And so some people's Christian values are not as important when it is that they are open to kind of entertain someone. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a great question. I think if I was actually actively pursuing marriage, I want somebody that is a Christian, that's not just a Christian as a label on your dating app. Because that's a lot of people just put Christian. And then when I start asking, like, oh, what church are you affiliated with?
He's like, I don't, just God first.
Oh, you know, only God could judge me. I don't really go to church. I can't really stand church folk. I'm like, okay, church hurt. I don't need that.
Right. So if someone is dealing with church hurt, you're not dealing with that? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying that your church hurt is keeping you away from the church so much that you don't even know if you're a legit Christian or not. And, you know, I have church hurt of my own. So, and I'm working through that. So I have no problems if this person and this individual, first of all, recognizes that they have some kind of like.
I'm sorry, this dude saying, I go to the same church as Pastor Wilson. Lord.
Wait, who's Pastor Wilson?
You don't know.
I don't know who Pastor Wilson.
Y'all don't know Pastor Wilson?
No.
I don't know Pastor Wilson either.
There you go. Hey. Hold on, I want to read some of these comments because I'm laughing.
The comments is booming. What we got going on here?
Young Gutter, Braddock Bully, 1276. He's trying to be in your DMs. Somebody said a bunch of semi-pro footballers from Woody Higher are now rappers. I tell chicks don't entertain me if you can't fight because my shorty pulling up. I love that one. Oh man.
See, that's a problem. That's bad trouble. Don't nobody want to be fighting your girlfriend and be a side chick.
See?
No, that's a problem.
So you said something that is interesting in regards to marriage, right? So at what point is every potential dating situation a step towards marriage, right? Because I feel like because we're all kind of in the same age group, right? So I feel like at a certain point, relationships become how I guess the right way to say it would be like, how feasible is the idea of me and this person being together forever?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's certainly different for everyone. So I'm only going to speak for myself. I've had time in the past couple of years to realize that I actually don't want to be married.
Okay.
So I'm not
What?
So I'm
You're
not
not pursuing
actively
marriage,
pursuing marriage, and I'm not actively pursuing dating.
Mm.
So that's why when I just recently got back on a dating app. I wasn't on it for a while, but I also don't think it's wrong or bad for individuals who know that they don't want to be in a relationship to go on a dating site, because you just don't know if somebody will
You might come
engage you
across
enough,
somebody, yeah.
right, to change your mind or to change at least your perspective on the idea
Right.
of marriage. What you got, Nate?
There you
I know
go.
the wheels
I always
turning.
love when he make that face.
Because I feel like that's when like a lot of what you said kind of brings other questions. So like, so when you say like you're not actively interested basically in marriage or even relationship, however, you are interested in a dating site, possibly because someone may have the capacity to change your mind, change your outlook on that. And so a part of me wants to know, like, well, what is it? Like, why initially are you not interested in relationship? Why is it that you are looking possibly into someone else to be able to change that perspective, opposed to yourself knowing, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like, can you speak to that?
Yeah. First of all, that's a lot. That's like a therapy
Mhm.
session.
Yeah, so
right
that's
there.
why.
It
Yeah,
is.
like that's how my mind thinks sometimes. Like, it's
But
like
I appreciate that,
no
because
problem.
those are the types of conversations that you get to know somebody,
Mhm.
right? Those are the deep, big talk. I call it
Right.
big talk.
Mhm.
So I guess to circle back, I'm not seeking somebody to change my mind for me. So I that was a I didn't mean to misspeak on that. What I am saying is I'm not cutting myself off from a possibility of meeting somebody that could make me feel safe enough to be with them. And that's kind of the thing for me. It's like, especially in Pittsburgh was deemed the most, like, the worst city to live in as a Black woman. I mean, Black in general, and a person of color.
Yeah, the
But,
least
like,
livable city.
the least livable for a Black woman, and the most likely for you to die in childbirth for women.
Yeah.
Okay, for Black women. So check me.
Right.
Okay, so I mean,
Protect our Black women, yo.
there's fear behind that, but there's also the knowing in me that it's not that I'm just so satisfied in my singleness. It's just like, God, you are the only one that has the ability to change my desires, and I'm not. And whenever you're ready to change that, tell me when to pray for it, because I'm not actively praying for that. I'm not the type of person that believes you should be actively praying for a mate, because
Same.
you know that God's gonna work it out. But I also think that just in life, it's nice to have people in your community. You know?
So I think, so again, these things makes me like, because so both of you guys just agree on the context of praying for someone,
For a mate, yeah.
for a mate, right? Why do you feel like you shouldn't, or you are kind of against like praying for a mate?
I think for me, anytime we start talking about things God is doing, right? I can only attest to the way that God's worked in my life, right? So I had gone through toxic relationship after toxic relationship, and not just they were toxic towards me, I was reciprocating the toxicity. So because of that, I had put myself in a place where, like, I don't deserve anything other than a toxic relationship. And it wasn't until God had placed someone in my life that was just going through just as much toxicity in their life, and then had that person show grace to me and go, you know what, my life is toxic, my life is chaotic, but this person's life is toxic and their life is chaotic, but they need somebody right now. And like my wife will tell you, like, we were friends first. So like we spent a long time literally just being around each other and just being in each other's company and space.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like God, like we had realized, and I say this to this day, but we had realized that there is no life cycle that we could have ever gone through that each of us wouldn't have found each other. Like we talk about moments when we're relatively close to the same age. So I'm a year older than her, but we talk about like times where she was watching a show and I'd be like, yo, I was watching the same thing. So like in our brain, so in our head and in my heart, is like I feel like God would have purposed this person in my life regardless. So there are certain people that just I related to, like, you ever see a Bronx Tale? Like the movie Bronx Tale?
I haven't.
So what? So in this movie
Judge.
Bronx Tale, it's an old school like mafia movie basically. Like it's an Italian.
You were at the
movie.
Connect
I was
Center.
at the Connect
He was at the Connect Center. But when the Connect Center was nothing but a sparkle in his eye. So like this basically the premise of this movie is a young man who grows up in a working class household. He watches the gangsters on the street doing what they do, and I mean it's a story that we've all resonated with because we know someone like it or we've been in the situation. But when a young man grows up and he's ready to start dating, he goes to the OG. He goes to the guy on the block that everybody looks to, and he asks him for advice. And he says, in everybody's life, you're granted one great one. He's like, you get one great one, and that's the one that like you only get one. So when that one is, if you mess it up, that's it. And you kind of picking up the pieces after that. And I happened to find my great one, and that was it for me.
That's
so,
dope. Shout out to the wifey. Shout out
for real.
So
hey, love you, B.
There's this I don't know if it's a meme, but someone posted this a while ago, and I saved it. And I was like, yo, this is so true. And so it's not mine. I'm just sharing it. It says, I was toxic to some, I was a blessing to others. Others I healed, others I hurt. Right. I'm willing to admit that I wasn't always right.
Right.
And so like I think about that like in the context of just like relationships or even just dealing with people, you know, like for me, it's the same way. And so like I've kind of been in scenarios where it's just like everyone is just like there's this grandeur, but like me, like I know like the inner toxic side. Right. Yeah. And so when you really have to deal with the inner toxic side of yourself, especially when you're allowing yourself to get close to people and allowing them to kind of see like your vulnerabilities, like that's a whole totally different dynamic. And so now you're taking that into relationship. Yeah. And so it's like there's always like this hesitation or even like resistance when it comes to that. And so it's not always like a easy thing because even now I think if you're connected to the wrong person, you can be an amazing person right now in this moment. Yeah. But if you're connected to the wrong person, you can easily become toxic.
Yeah, they can pull that out of you. There's I think people have the potential to push things that are already in you up, whether it's good or bad.
So it's just like there's certain vegetables, right? Like there's certain vegetables that if you have them for so long, right? Like if you have them for so long, they become toxic.
Celery,
right?
Celery
like so you can. It's a healthy thing, like the in its healthy state. Yeah. Right. But if it's kept too long, it then create toxins, and those toxins can those toxins can hurt you. They can harm you. They can even kill you. And so it's just like when you recognize the toxicity of yourself and being connected to people and some of the things that you're working on. And I think what you mentioned about your wife, knowing like, yo, we're both working on something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I think when you come into a scenario with someone and y'all both recognize like, yo, we both got flaws and we're willing to kind of rock this thing out together, rather than trying to like put, you know, yourself on the pedestal, like, oh, I'm beyond that. Like I'm good. Like, you know, you need to be on my level. In some areas, you know what I mean? Like you certainly should have some sort of boundaries and expectations and level up. But there's others, it's just like, no, like if we're really not about to grow together, if you're not about to help me grow in certain areas, then no. Yeah.
And to everybody in the comments, I'm sorry, it wasn't one great one, it was 3 great ones. Excuse me for misquoting a movie from 1993.
They're calling you out.
Yeah, yo. Nah, bro, it ain't 1, it's 3. Well, I got 1. I love y'all, man.
You're like 1 in a million here over here. Yo, you got one great one.
Man. It was
That's awesome.
the craziest and the wildest part for me is that I think
Somebody said, I'm sorry.
No, you
Somebody
good.
said, let us hear some of y'all toxic traits.
I got anger issues. I got a short temper. I got a problem with organization. What else? I am Puerto Rican, so technically I'm just highly possessive. So yes. What?
That's like giving permission to stereotype Puerto Ricans.
Hey, listen, I live in
But, I mean,
Pittsburgh.
you're
I'm a
Puerto
Mexican
Rican,
to everybody
so-
anyway.
So
I live in
Me.
Pittsburgh. I'm a Mexican to everybody anyway.
I mean,
but you
I've
can
been
say
asked
it.
more times than I care to remember where in Mexico is Puerto Rico, and that's living in Pittsburgh. So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and did you tell them?
I always do. I go right to the east of LA. It's to the east of LA. That's where it
Right.
is. Nah, man. Yeah, it's just I forget what I was gonna say, but those are my toxic traits. Some of them.
Yeah.
I have many more. I'm sure my wife can name some of them. When I met, that's what I was gonna say. When I met my wife, luckily because it was before the boom of social media,
Yeah.
there wasn't much documentation about the toxic individual that I was. So, and kind of speaks to what you said, where like people know you because of the representation you make, especially when we talk about social media. I've had the blessing and the ability to like truly cancel the person I used to be, and everybody just knows who I am today, or
Yeah.
the person they're beginning to know me as now. But I mean, anybody hangs around me for 10 minutes, you can see that I got traits about me or things about me that just I'm not your typical,
Right.
everyday guy. So it's just one of those things where like stop pretending you got it all together. Like,
Right. You next, or
I mean, I can go. I spend a lot of time alone, so oftentimes I try to ask like my best friend, what is it that she sees that I might need to work on, just so I constantly
That's
have
good.
like that
Keep you accountable.
feedback, right? I would say that something that is possibly toxic about me is I don't forget.
Ooh.
I mean, literally, I have a really good memory, but also I can get very when I'm overwhelmed, I can be very short with people, and that can come off.
I'm like that.
And I don't really like. I feel myself doing that, so as you learn these things, you try to be more aware so you can like check it. But yeah, I can get really short and just really just kind of distant, like arm's length. Nope, I don't need you. I used to cut people off, not cancel people, but just kind of just like,
Are you a
I'm just
grudge
gonna
holder?
fade away.
You
No,
hold
I
grudges?
mean, I feel like I don't hold a grudge for like revenge.
Yeah.
I just know it.
Not even so much for revenge, but like, do you like hold on to when somebody offends you or like somebody hurts you, right? And let's say you get it out of your mind for a while, but that name
and it
pops
comes
back up.
Yeah.
Do you do the like, I can't stand them?
It's more so of like a like maybe just like a unconscious remembering of the experience that I might have had with that individual that might make, that's where the fear comes in. It's just like, all right, I gotta keep my guard up, defense mode on, because I don't know what's about to happen because of what I had last time. But we project a lot of what we've been through with somebody when we knew them then,
right?
And we don't know them now,
right?
So just like you were saying, like nobody knew you from your MySpace days, and a lot of times we fantasize and make up who people are on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we fall in love with that idea of them that we created in our head.
The idea of people, not the reality of people.
Not the reality. Oof. And I was in a relationship like that. I was like, I'm here.
Where
real.
It was based around the idea.
And he was just really in love with the thought. I'm like, you're dating me, right? Like I'm
I'm here, right?
I'm here, right? But
That's wild.
Whatever.
So for me, as it relates to toxic, I just love everybody. It's like trust is a big trust is a huge thing for me. I feel like so I can and this sounds crazy, but I can trust people that I don't know a little easier than people that are allowed to be in my space, right? So if I begin to get allow you to kind of have some sort of expectations, because I really don't have I don't put expectations on people, right? Because I just feel like like I shouldn't expect anyone to do anything.
Right.
Right. And so then if I begin to kind of build and mold a relationship, and then you break that trust, it is hard. Like it's a challenge. I mean, it can be years later, and I kind of think about it like, no. And I think about it like, well, if you did that to me now, then what would you do like in the future? Right. And so like that's a very, very unhealthy thing that I have with myself. Sometimes like, and that kind of leads me to a place of like just being impatient with people or a person where it's just like, I'm not dealing with this. Like I'll be by myself. Like I'll be by myself. Like I don't. And then another part is like, I don't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't have to deal
I
with
could do
this,
bad by myself. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so it's, how do I navigate that? Like, how do I kind of change that perspective of like saying like, even though I know that I don't have to, like, am I willing to?
Right.
Right. And so it's really shifting. I mean, I have quite a few toxic traits. I'm not gonna, we're not about to turn this into a Nate show, but like I'm far from perfect. You know what I mean? Like I'm far from perfect, and I think a part of it, and this is kind of like allows me to kind of celebrate my walk with God, right? Like it celebrates because I recognize that even without God, I would probably be farther away from like this idea.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And so that's the reason why I love being or having a relationship with God, because it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It just means that I recognize that if I did not have this solid connection, that man, my life would be even more in shambles because I've messed up with God. You know what I mean? Like, so I can only imagine what life would be without him. Like I would probably going like 90 going like north, going 100 and just crazy.
Right.
I just think like if you didn't have God on your side and with that trust, because I feel like all of us might have some kind of layer of trust issues.
Oh yeah.
Just how many opportunities you would have lost if God wasn't in your ear, and you weren't a man of God.
Right.
Like how many connections, would have just passed you by because you were just in that feeling of like, nope, I can't let this person close to me. I don't trust them. But because of God and his power, because in our weakness, in our toxic, natures, it keeps us leaning into God, into Christ.
Right.
And he's the one that nudges us.
So let me pause that right there though. So here's my thing, right? And Lord, I'm gonna look into the camera. Like
I say careful. Somebody said they was gonna post your toxic traits on Facebook.
That's fine.
We human. You revealed it ourselves.
Right.
Here's my thing, right? I think one of the challenges and the nuances, especially like in our generation, is like over spiritualizing like your reality, right? And so yes, we love Jesus, we walk with God, and yes, there is a strong many people have a strong spiritual connection to God. There's times where I have a strong spiritual connection to God where, and some of you may not understand this language that I'm about to say, but like I'm able to kind of flow, as they would call in the prophetic, right? I'm able to kind of do spiritual things, right? But even in those contexts, what I realize is that so many people try to use their spirituality as an excuse.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just like, well, I don't go this far because God told me.
Right.
Or I don't want this. Or the way that they kind of like exit stage left is because God.
Right.
And unfortunately, it is a uncertainty on their own end rather than using God as an scapegoat, right? And it's just like, come on, like this is not the time for that. Like this isn't the time to be like, because that's how people get connected. God told me that you was going to be this, and God told me you was going. Do you know how many people?
You about to be like, do you know how many people?
Is that a way to slide in the DMs too?
You know how many?
I was just gonna ask that.
God told me.
You know how many people?
Wife.
Listen, no. You know how many people told me that like I was their husband.
I was just gonna ask, is there like people in the DMs trying to be the first lady of the Connect Center? Like
Of the Connect Center.
Could be the first lady of the Connect
People
Center.
realize I'll give this Connect Center up
so fast. I know we've
so
had the
quick.
conversation.
Listen, if God says give it up, listen, I'm out of here.
Right.
But no, man, like I've had interesting kind of interactions. Like there was this one, and this was a long time ago. And again, this is, I mean, I don't know if they're, my friend or not, but I thought it was funny. I shared it like with my friends, right? Because I don't really do, whatever. But someone reached out and was just like
chopped liver. So
someone that reached out and was just like, they said hi, whatever. I opened it up, didn't read it, just just read it. And so I was literally, I think I was in like Washington or something like that. And they said, I was getting something to eat. And then I opened up the message and it was just like, oh, you're a pastor. Never mind. I was just like,
oh, dang.
She's like, I don't want to smoke anymore.
Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like,
did they think you already had a first lady? Maybe.
No, she wasn't sanctified enough for him.
Listen.
She's like, I don't need you trying to baptize me on our first date.
I'm like, but then on the other side of that, there's so many people that try to connect, trying to be so deep, and it's just like I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Don't come to me.
Let me drop
it. Don't come to me with all these scriptures.
Yeah.
Don't come to me like with all of the salt. Like
let me drop my seminary thesis in your DMs.
I love that, but I also love being well-rounded.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like I love the well-roundedness of just individual, and I don't want to talk. I'm gonna just be 100. This might be y'all might convict me later, condemn me later. Like I don't want to talk about the Bible all day long, even with my friends, because like I'm engaged in theological conversations all the time. I don't want to come home and kind of always have that conversation. Right. And so even when I'm with my friends sometimes and they begin to kind of have those conversations, I'll literally like remove myself unless I feel led to kind of be in that conversation. And so it's just like, nah, like we're not about to sit here and be like, no, we don't
want to chop it up that way.
No.
So no, oh hey, godly brother Nate, how
That's
you
why
doing?
he don't respond to me whenever I do that.
What?
That's why Nate don't respond to me. I be sending him Bible verses, like, hey, bro.
He's like, nope.
He be leaving me on red. I'm like, oh, okay.
I
thought we was partners in ministry.
He is not telling the truth.
I'll just play. That's my bro.
That's funny. Well, this was a great conversation. Like, it was nice to learn more about y'all and chill with y'all, hang out.
Yes. No, for sure. It's always great kicking it with you guys.
Yes.
I think we legit need to do like a dating show for you.
No,
like
speed.
No.
We put like 3 people on the other side of the wall.
Would be very entertaining.
Put like 3 people on the other side of the wall. You pick Bachelor 1, 2, or 3.
If it turns into a game show that's not anything that is like serious, I'll be down because I think it would be fun.
Let me host it.
I think
got you.
So let's just jump
God.
in.
See?
No, so you're
planting seeds.
Even with the game show, like I think of the new it's not new because it's old. I guess it has several series, like the whole Married at First Sight kind of a thing.
Yeah, I would.
So like someone asked me the other day, was like, would you ever do something like that? I'm like, I don't think I could ever do such a thing like that. I give people
not for real.
For your 90-day engagement and all that.
No, not for real. I would be the one that would be the villain at the end because I'd be like, I was just in it for the entertainment. Like I can't believe y'all thought I was serious.
Yeah, no, like I give people that I know like a hard time. Like, so I'm about to like connect to you and you're a whole stranger and y'all are like
sorry for you.
So you wouldn't go on a blind date?
Would I go on a blind date? I think I would go on a blind date.
All right.
Yeah, I think I would go on a blind date.
What about you? Would you go on a blind date?
I've been on a blind date
before. You have?
Yeah.
See, I only seen them on TV. I don't know nothing about blind dates.
I would
they
be
happen
curious.
in real life.
Like,
I was like, I didn't know they happened in real life.
What's a like? Yeah, I'm a curious person.
Yeah.
So
what if like one of the church mothers you grew up with was like, I got somebody to hook you up with. Be at this place at this time, and you'd be like, you gonna show up?
It's stressful.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
Somebody try to hook you up with their grandbaby.
Yeah.
You gonna show up?
Like,
no, I'm good. I'm good, love.
He said I'm gonna tarnish my name in the community before I do that.
I'm good, love. Mother,
I'm good.
mother, just give me the peppermint. I don't want the
do
date.
that.
Mother, just give me the peppermint. I don't. No.
I'm waiting on Jesus.
I'm waiting on Jesus. He's the.
Oh,
you don't
man.
even get to worry, baby. I'm
Look,
fine.
Jesus will be here after a while.
I'm gonna just
Listen,
set y'all up
By
on
and by.
random church blind dates.
I think those things are, but people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like, I mean, however you gotta, however it turns out for you.
I feel you.
Some people jump in the DM. Some people randomly go on dates and they
Yeah.
find the love of their life.
Yeah.
There's people who've gone on married at first sight, and from what I've heard, like they're still together and still doing their thing.
Yeah.
And so, love and marriage, like relationship, in my opinion, is oftentimes a choice.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so relationships oftentimes grow or groom into love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so people oftentimes are wanting to be moved by this idea of like, I love you.
Yeah.
But like love is like a growth. Like you have to.
That's because everybody's caught into the romantic of it. Like,
right.
Everybody wants to be in a
Yeah.
rom-com.
They want to be
That
swept off their
fantasy,
feet.
yeah.
And of course you should.
Yeah,
I
everybody want to
feel
be in a rom-com. Some people don't deserve Matthew McConaughey though.
I feel like
It's
in
just
a
that simple.
relationship, I feel like both of you should be sweeping each other off your feet.
Yeah, real talk.
Like it shouldn't be like, yo, like you're so dope and like you chase me. It has to be like a neutral, like, yo, both of us are dope.
Yeah.
And both of us is like trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Both of us is like wanting to show each other mad love. Because at the end of the day, someone else can easily show you that love.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I'm so connected and if I'm so like in tune, it's just like I'm leaving no room for anybody else to kind of come in and kind of love me in a way in which I need that you can easily do.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
real.
do like that you said you started out as friends with your now wife. And I think that is a wonderful foundation. I love friendship. Like I am like an advocate for friendship because community is what we need. That's what we fall back on. And of course, if it starts as friendship and then you get into relationship and marriage, then it's a different type of friendship. But still, I think that we need all types of different people to be our friends in like good friendship, you know,
real friendship,
real friendship. So that's what I like. I enjoy gaining people that I know to add to my community because
you're a tribe builder.
You need people to know that they're available to help you heal.
Yeah.
And people that you can lean on and just call your own. Like these are my people.
Yeah.
These are my friends. This is my community. So that's a great foundation to start with right there.
Shout out to all the tribe builders out there.
Yeah. Friends. How many of us have them?
Hey.
Friends. Well, listen, guys, the time has been really dope spending with you guys. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna be here next Thursday. I want y'all to give a shout out to my man Danny.
Hey, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for and Tage. Didn't she do a phenomenal job? Yo, hit her DMs.
Hit her up in the DMs.
Put that vegan plate in there.
All of y'all single deacons,
look, those
holler at her.
vegans.
If you're a single vegan deacon,
yeah.
Let's talk recipes.
Let's talk recipes, righteousness, ratchetness, all of it.
So listen, guys. I want to just kind of give you guys just a few little announcements just from the Connect Center. I want to give a shout out to my nephew Jay. My nephew Jay is literally running kind of this whole everything that you see from the different camera views that you're seeing.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, Jay, he is a beast. Like he's a beast. Generally my daughter would be here with him as
About
well.
to teach all my guys.
And they're just doing their thing. Shout out to Pastor Delise who did a phenomenal job with the set. Yeah, she did a phenomenal job.
This looked like somebody's mama house.
Yeah. So we have some youngins in the building that's just here. Shout out to
Synergy Youth Ministry. Hey,
yep.
Check us out.
So again, the Connect Cafe is open. We had COVID testing here on site today. We have food boxes. I think there's still some food boxes. There will be a delivery also on Saturday. So if you need food boxes, you can come here. You can also go to
Greater Works, 301 College Park Drive, Monroeville, Pennsylvania. We got y'all 1,100 boxes of food we're trying to give away on Saturday. So come check us out. If you know somebody that needs food, if you know somebody that got babies, because everybody eats. It's not a matter of humility or a matter of you too good for it. Everybody got a mouth. Everybody eats. All right. There's
Feed
apples
the
and
people.
potatoes in there for the vegans. There's pre-cooked chicken for the rest of y'all.
It's literally
Come on, feed the people.
It's literally support. Like I call it support. So many people, I think when you change the language, it's like, oh, we're giving this out to people in need. No, we're giving it out to people who need support.
I took 2 boxes home last week for me.
And the truth of the matter is that everybody daily needs support.
Right.
We all use support daily. And so never be and I'm hoping that the stigma behind using community resources would be broken because it's necessary. And I know there's people who have used it as a platform to kind of make themselves be great or even look great. But if you need it, sometimes you just have to lay your pride to the side. And we're just trying to make things shake for you. So
we just out here trying to feed the block, y'all.
Yeah, we're trying to look spiritually and naturally. God said, feed my people. And so that's what we're trying to do. The third Friday of this month, we are relaunching our teen night here at the Connect Cafe.
Hey,
woo, woo, woo.
Everybody come through.
And so if you are interested, if you have teens that are interested, we want you to go over to our website and register. You have to register so we can know how many people are going to be in the space, just so that we can kind of continue to meet the guidelines with CDC. I know the world is opening up, but we're not opening up full. Like it's still out here. COVID is still alive and well, and they said another strand is out here, and so we want to be careful. But we do want to connect, kick it with you guys. This Saturday, we're having a Connect with Nate here at the cafe, and so from 12 to 2, if you're interested, just to kind of come and talk about business and just nonprofit stuff and just ministry stuff and all of that stuff. Like I'm just going to be open. A lot of people ask me to kind of just share thoughts and ideas and pick my brain. And so if you want to pick my brain, 12 to 2 on Saturday.
Don't try to catch them in the grocery store and be like, hey, I had an idea about ministry.
Yep. So 12 to 2, come here. We're just going to kick it. We'll kind of talk through some stuff. I'll talk about some stuff, share some stuff, and then just kind of go from there. So
word up.
Other than that,
follow me on Instagram. _ Danny Knows.
Check out our YouTube. Our YouTube is Connect TV. And so we want you to like and to share. That's also going to help us as well. If you go like our YouTube page, we want to change the name, but we need to get 100 followers first so that we can make it easier for us to kind of change the link. And so listen, go follow us on our YouTube page, because soon our YouTube page is going to be popping because we got some things up and coming. All right. So listen, we're out. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next Thursday. We don't know what we're doing next Thursday. I think we do. You don't know what we're doing next Thursday. So tune in. We're not telling you what we're doing. We want you to kind of just come on Thursdays. Sometimes, as I stated, this is just a moment for us to kind of just bust up our week, just with conversation, sometimes through prayer. There's going to be times through the word, through worship, just through dialogue, whatever. We might have panel discussions, all of that stuff. So just tune in on Thursdays at 7.
Yes.
Hey, any parting words?
Thanks for watching, y'all.
Don't be sliding in nobody's DM.
Hey, watch what you watch.
Be careful.
Be careful in those DMs.
Do your background checks first.
Hey, because it goes down in the DMs.
It goes down in the DMs.
Cue that music. It goes down in the DMs.
Love y'all.
All right, y'all. Listen. Have a good evening.